So the next topic is our AM receivers. Uh, in general, there are two different types of AM receivers that are available for the amplitude modulated signals. The first one is tuned radio frequency receiver. That is TRF receiver, and the second one is super heterodyne receiver. These are the two commonly used type of receivers for the AM signals. When we're talking about the AM receivers or any communication receiver in that matter, the two most important characteristics that should be fulfilled by any communication receivers are the selectivity and the sensitivity. Selectivity and sensitivity. Selectivity, by selectivity we mean that the receiver is receiving multiple signals having different frequency component, different power levels, right? It has to select the desired signal out of that. So the ability to select the desired signal out of the multiple received signals, that is your simple selectivity coefficient. And the second component is sensitivity. That means the received signal has a very, very low power. So the ability of the receiver to detect the information correctly or efficiently from the received signal, that is your sensitivity. Selectivity is selecting the right signal, and sensitivity is extracting the information exactly from the selected signal. Okay, so these two characteristics should be these two are very critical characteristic for any communication receiver, right? We'll discuss about these two in detail in the later part of this topic. So we'll begin with the first type of receiver, that is tuned radio frequency receiver. I'll first draw the block diagram of it and then we'll walk through the working of that. So first block is RF antenna, RF amplifier. Which receives the signal through the antenna. And then we have a demodulator, which is a very important and integral part of any receiver. Demodulator. Then we have AF amplifier. And then we have a power amplifier. And then we have our device. Let's name this as loudspeaker. Okay, so this RF amplifier is a tuned amplifier, hence the name tuned radio frequency receiver, TRF. So this RF amplifier is a tuned amplifier. We'll have a look at this meaning of the tuned amplifier in detail now. So this tuning of this RF amplifier is done using a LC tank circuit. So we use a LC tank circuit. We have inductor coils over here. We have a capacitor. So the tuning is done using such a LC tank circuit. And the resonant frequency of it is 1/2 pi square root of LC. See, the ideal this tuned amplifier, it should allow only a single frequency, that is this resonant frequency. The frequency at which the circuit is resonating should be the only allowed frequency in case of ideal tuned amplifier, and it should reject all other frequencies. Okay, depending on the values of L and C, we can tune this amplifier such that it passes only a single frequency component, that is FR. Allows only single frequency. That will help us to boost the selectivity of the receiver, right? And reject all other frequency components, right? So now This is the ideal scenario, but in general, this tuned amplifier, it passes a band of frequency or a range of frequency. It doesn't pass only a single frequency component, rather it passes a range of frequencies. Okay, that is a practical case, right? So the range of frequency which the tuned amplifier passes without any attenuation is called, you can say, the bandwidth of the tuned amplifier. A range of frequency which the tuned amplifier passes without attenuation is called bandwidth of tuned amplifier. And this bandwidth should be as small as possible for higher quality factor or higher quality of reception, because I'll give you the reason why. If let's say this is the scenario and this is the bandwidth or the band of frequencies that are getting passed. Let's say this is the resonating frequency FR and this is the band of frequency or the range of frequencies that are getting passed. So the quality factor, which is the measure of the quality of reception, quality factor, it gives you the measure of quality of reception. Mathematically, this Q factor is equal to FR divided by bandwidth. FR is the central frequency or the resonant frequency. Bandwidth is the range of frequencies that are getting passed in the tuned amplifier. So larger will be the value of this bandwidth, smaller will be the Q factor. We have an inverse relationship between these two, and smaller is the bandwidth, larger will be the value of Q function or the quality factor. So mathematically also we can say that smaller is the bandwidth, better is the quality of reception. So let's say if we have very small bandwidth, you can see only a single frequency component. If the bandwidth is very small, approaching towards zero, we can say only a single frequency component is getting passed, hence boosting our the selectivity of the receiver, right? So this quality factor is said to be the sharpness of the gain frequency characteristic. It gives you the sharpness. Quality factor gives the sharpness to the gain frequency curve. Gain frequency characteristics. So we have few mathematical relations that this FR is 1/2 pi square root of LC. Q factor is your FR by bandwidth, and also alternatively Q factor is equal to 1/2 pi square root L by C. Okay, now we can say that the major problem associated with TRF receiver is problem with tuned radio frequency receiver is poor selectivity. That is the issue. Let us see how this we can say that we can conclude that this TRF, the problem associated with TRF is poor selectivity. Let's explain this with the help of an example. Assume that the receiver is tuned to is tuned to 600K frequency. Okay, this is the frequency to which the receiver is tuned, or it is supposed to receive the frequency of this magnitude, right? So we assume that the tuned amplifier, the characteristic of the tuned amplifier should be such that it should peak at 600K and let's say the bandwidth required is 10K. The signal is contained in the bandwidth of 10K. Signal is contained in the bandwidth of 10 kilohertz. Okay, so bandwidth is assumed to be 10 kilohertz. So the quality factor required for this would be Q function is FR, that is 600K divided by bandwidth is 10K, that is 60. The quality factor for this type of receiver is 60, right? And this resonant frequency, we know this 600K is equal to 1 upon 2 pi square root of LC, and also Q factor it is equal to 60, that is 1 upon 2 pi square root of L by C, right? This is one case, you can say case 1. Now in case 1 we had to tune the receiver to 600 kilohertz frequency and the bandwidth given is 10 kilohertz, right? Now let's take the case 2. The quality factor achieved is 60 in this case, remember, right? Now let us assume the receiver is tuned to 1000 kilohertz frequency. A receiver is tuned to 1000 kilohertz. Okay, so this is your resonant frequency or the central frequency, and the bandwidth again required is, let's say, 10K. All right, so now what will be the quality factor? Quality factor required would in this case would be 1000K divided by 10K, that is 100, which is quite a large quality factor. And you know the quality factor, to achieve the quality factor Q, you know the expression, that is 1 upon 2 pi square root L by C, right? So for changing the frequency, the capacitance is varied, because L that is inductor is a bulky device, so we usually vary the capacitance. But correspondingly, due to you can say the different formulas for FR, the resonant frequency, and the quality factor, the value of Q is not exactly 100. Are you able to understand the point? We know the expression of FR and Q are different, that is right. So we can say that the you can say due to different formulas of these, the value of Q is not exactly 100. The point is, it is really difficult to achieve such a large quality factor. Okay, the optimal value of quality factor is between 40 rather in the range of 50 to 70. Now if we check that to get the quality factor of 60 that we got for the case 1, so if the quality factor has to be maintained to 60 and the resonant frequency is 1000 kilohertz, the bandwidth required will be 1000 by 60, and it comes out of 16.66 kilohertz, right? So the band of frequency in which the signal was contained is 10K, but the frequency bandwidth, sorry, the bandwidth of the tuned amplifier is 16.66 kilohertz. That means it is also passing the unwanted adjacent signals, right? The wanted band was between this band was 10K, but the pass band of the tuned amplifier is 16.66 kilohertz. That means we are also passing some unwanted signal through the tuned amplifier, resulting into poor selectivity. This is the main drawback of tuned radio frequency receiver kind of a receivers, that it has poor selectivity, right? Now we move on to the next type of the receiver, that is super heterodyne receiver, and let us see how it overcomes this problem of poor selectivity of tuned radio frequency receiver. So now we know that super heterodyne receiver is used to overcome the limitation of tuned radio frequency receiver, and the limitation of tuned radio frequency receiver is poor selectivity. And if we change the you can say the resonant frequency or the tuned frequency into completely change the receiver. Okay, we cannot tune it to different resonant frequencies with the same quality factor. We need to change the receivers, right? So it results into poor selectivity. This problem is overcome by super heterodyne receiver. Let us see how. So there are two important steps that are incorporated in a tuned radio frequency receiver to make it super heterodyne kind of a receiver, and that helps us in overcoming the poor selectivity part of it. So the concept is we use a mixer in case of super heterodyne receiver. The purpose of mixer is designed, or rather it is basically a down converter, and what it does is whatever be the input signal frequency, it's a kind of a down converter. So the purpose of mixer is that whatever is the input frequency Fi, it is down converted into 455 kilohertz. So irrespective of the input frequency, whatever the input frequency, the mixer converts it into 455 kilohertz by multiplying it with some different frequency. I will study about that part in detail in the subsequent part of this lecture. So the concept is it down converts the input frequency to 455 kilohertz. Okay, so now what we do is the tuned amplifier has to be tuned only to this particular frequency. It has to be tuned to this frequency so that it can pass the signal centered around at this frequency with the bandwidth of 10 kilohertz. The bandwidth of amplitude modulated signal is 10 kilohertz. So now the quality factor will be 455 kilohertz divided by 10k, that is 45.5, which is a good quality factor to be maintained. Okay, and this frequency 455 kilohertz is known as intermediate frequency. Intermediate frequency IF, which is obtained by this FL minus F of S. FL is the local oscillator frequency of the local oscillator, and F of S is the input signal frequency. Okay, so the concept is very simple. I'm repeating once again. In case of super heterodyne receiver, we use a mixer block that down converts the input signal frequency to 455 kilohertz. So whatever be the input signal frequency, that will be converted into 455 kilohertz. The benefit of doing that is now the tuned amplifier has to be tuned only to a single frequency, that is 455 kilohertz, and the quality factor maintained is 45.5 for the bandwidth of 10 kilohertz, that is the bandwidth of a AM signal. Okay, so we need not change the tuned amplifier again and again. We need not change the LC components again and again. L remains fixed, but we need to change the C component capacitance of the amplifier again and again, and that variable capacitance is not that perfect that we tune it and we get the exact required capacitance. So now we need to only we can fix the tuned amplifier to a particular frequency and it remains fixed. It does not change with the change in the input signal frequency, which was the case in tuned radio frequency receiver. In case of tuned radio frequency receiver, whenever we change the input signal frequency, we have to change the LC component, the tank circuit. Okay, and that does not always result into a ideal desired values, right? So in case of the super heterodyne receiver, as we see that we have to tune it to only a single frequency, that is 455 kilohertz, and that remains fixed. Nothing has to be changed further. Okay, and that is possible only with the help of a mixer, because mixer converts all the incoming signal frequencies to 455 kilohertz only. So for example, if we have to tune the signal at 600k, or if we have to tune the signal at 1000k, we pass through mixer with let's say a local oscillator frequency of 1055 kilohertz, and for this case the local oscillator frequency would be 1455 kilohertz, and the resultant is centered around 455k. So irrespective of the input signal frequency, that is 600 or 1000k, using different local oscillator frequency, we can down convert it to a intermediate frequency, that is 455 kilohertz. Next, let us have a look at the block diagram of super heterodyne receiver. The first block is the same, that is RF amplifier, which gets input from the antenna. Then we have a tuned amplifier. I'll explain you the function of tuned amplifier further. Next block is a mixer that we have already discussed, and another input to a mixer is a local oscillator. A mixer multiplies the signal frequency, it multiplies these two signals, signal coming from the tuned amplifier and the local oscillator, and the resultant is the addition and subtraction of the frequency components of the two signals. Okay, obviously when we multiply the two signals, the frequency components gets added or subtracted. Okay, the next block is IF amplifier, intermediate frequency amplifier. IF stands for intermediate frequency. Next we have demodulator. Then further we have all the other blocks are same. Next we have AF amplifier. Then we have power amplifier. And then we have loudspeaker or any other device, output device. You can easily compare the changes with the tuned radio frequency receiver. We have this tuned amplifier that is extra, and we have this mixer setup extra, right? We have already explained the purpose of this mixer setup, and IF amplifier is to amplify the IF frequency, and that is your intermediate frequency, which is near about 455 kilohertz. Now let us try to understand the purpose of this tuned amplifier. The purpose of this tuned amplifier is to suppress the image frequency, to suppress the image frequency. It's a very important concept. Now, what do we mean by image frequency? Image frequency, or you can say image signal, is a signal having frequency which is also passed through this mixer and further the IF amplifier. Let us see how, and that is completely undesired. See, the concept is irrespective of the input signal frequency. If let's say Fs is the input signal frequency, it is what mixer does is it down converts into intermediate frequency, that is 455 kilohertz, by multiplying it to the local oscillator frequency FLO, right? So this intermediate frequency is nothing but FLO minus F of S, right? See, the image signal frequency FSI, the expression is Fs plus twice of intermediate frequency. That is the standard expression, and let us see how this is an undesired frequency and still it manages to pass through this super heterodyne receiver system. Let us take the same example. Fs is 600 kilohertz. IF intermediate frequency is 455 kilohertz. So the, let's say, image signal frequency would be 600 plus 2 into 455, and that comes out to be your 1510. Okay, for this particular system, we know the mixer is multiplied by FLO, local oscillator frequency of 1055 kilohertz, and 600 k is the input signal, so that the resultant is 1055 minus 600, that is 455 kilohertz. That's the concept, right? Now if to the same mixer we give input as image signal frequency, that is this FSI is equal to 1510 kilohertz instead of 600 kilohertz, or in addition to 600 kilohertz we give input as 1050 kilohertz. Mixer multiplies these two signals, this and this, right? And the resultant will be addition and subtraction of the frequency component, so that will result in 1510 minus 1055, that is again 455 kilohertz, which is nothing but again intermediate frequency, and that will be further passed through the entire chain of the blocks. So clearly you can see that 600K is the desired frequency component, but it also passes, the mixer also passes this image signal component, that is this Fs, the input signal frequency, plus twice of intermediate frequency, that is 1510K for this given local oscillator, right? So for a given input signal there always exists a image signal frequency that is undesired, still it manages to pass because it also gets down converted to 455 kilohertz, and that is further easily passed through the entire block of chain of the blocks, right? So now to overcome this is obviously a drawback of this kind of a scenario. So to suppress this image signal frequency, we use this tuned amplifier. This tuned amplifier is kind of a low frequency amplifier which only passes this input signal frequency and blocks the signal image frequency at the beginning of the mixer only, right? So it does not allow this image signal frequency to further get to the mixer block. That is the concept. So to suppress this image signal frequency, we use this tuned amplifier before the mixer setup. All right. Next we have a term that is image rejection ratio. IRR, and it is usually denoted by alpha, and it specifies the effectiveness of the tuned amplifier in suppressing the image frequency. It is the effectiveness of the tuned amplifier in suppressing the image frequency. Okay, and the mathematical expression of this image rejection ratio alpha is square root of 1 plus p square into q square, where p is FSI divided by Fs minus Fi divided by FSI. Sorry, this is Fs, not Fi. So this is the expression of P which is used in this formula, and Q is the quality factor. Okay, and if a chain of tuned amplifiers are cascaded, let's say tuned amplifier 1, then we have tuned amplifier 2, and so on, and each tuned amplifier will have its own image rejection ratio. Let's say it's alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, and so on. The overall image rejection ratio alpha for this entire setup would be alpha 1 into alpha 2 into alpha 3 and so on. Let us do some simple example based on the concept of this image frequency and the super heterodyne receiver. The question is, a receiver is tuned to 500 kilohertz, local oscillator frequency is given by 1050 kilohertz. Find the question is to find the intermediate frequency and the image signal frequency. Second is find IRR, image rejection ratio, if quality factor given is 50. So in the question we are given with the input signal frequency to which the system is to be tuned, that is 500 kilohertz. FLO is given as 1050 kilohertz. We need to find out the intermediate frequency and the image signal frequency. So the intermediate frequency is nothing but FL minus F of S, that is 1050 minus 500, and it comes out to be 550 kilohertz. And FSI, image signal frequency, is equal to Fs plus twice of IF, that is equivalent to 500 plus 2 into 550, and it is equal to 1600 kilohertz. The next part is to find out image rejection ratio if the quality factor is 50. We need to find out image rejection ratio. So first, this alpha, that is IRR, is nothing but square root of 1 plus P square into Q square. Q is already given to us, that is 50. We need to find out P, that is FSI divided by Fs minus Fs divided by FSI. Image signal frequency is 1600 divided by this Fs is 500 minus 500 by 1600, and if you simplify it, it comes out to be 2.8. If you substitute the values of this 2.8 and Q in this expression, alpha comes out to be 144.3. So this is all about the AIM receivers. We have done two type of receivers, that is tuned radio frequency receiver and super heterodyne type of a receiver. Thank you.